it feel like days. Only been days, but it feel like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Lacey. I'm a 7th grade language arts teacher, and I wanted to do part 3 of the teacher Q&A series I've been doing. People have been loving the Q&As, and I've gotten some requests to do a 3rd part, so here's part 3. As always, these are my opinions. I cannot speak for all teachers, but you guys know I'm gonna be very honest. Please excuse my appearance. My hair needs to be done ASAP, but just disregard that. We're gonna start with kind of a quick question because the kids are walking down the hallway as we speak, and I locked them out. The first question is that people always say, you're so brave to teach middle school. Do you really feel that way? And yes, I hear that all the time. People always say, such a hard age. I can't believe you're teaching middle school by choice. But guys, I don't really have anything to compare it to. I did student teach with seniors, but I was in college, I was 21. I don't really know if that really counts as real experience because I didn't really teach. I kind of sat back and followed the main teacher's lead. So I would say all my experience is really in middle school. It is a hard age because they are trying to be grown. They're not in elementary school anymore, so they're kind of trying to test the limits. They are trying to maybe test out how far they can go, so that's tough. But again, that's all I'm used to, so I'm just used to shutting things down. And you guys know I'm sassy as well, so if they kind of get smart and sassy with me, I can usually shut that down easily and kind of match the energy. Again, I'm not rude or anything like that, but I can kind of clock their tea a little bit and shut it down. I feel like every age has its challenges. I think elementary is hard in certain ways, middle school is hard in certain ways, and high school is hard. Being a teacher in general is just tough. I just dropped the kids off at Connections, and I'm actually headed to a meeting, of course. It is Thursday, we have our ELA meeting, but before I go there, I wanted to answer another question. So somebody said, if you could ban anything related to education, what would it be? And honestly, guys, just because it's my first year with curriculum, I would probably say curriculum. And of course, ban is a strong word. I do not want to ban curriculum. I definitely see the importance of it, especially for like a first year teacher who has never taught before. It gives them a guide for it. But for me, I like to be creative. All these quizzes and a lot of testing and not necessarily always agreeing with the test questions and not really liking some of the stories we have to read, like that is tough for me because I don't want to teach something if I don't really love it, and I'm having to do that. So that's one thing I would maybe change. I wouldn't say ban, but it's a little bit tougher than I had initially thought to have to follow a curriculum. Not only does my school have to follow it, but the other middle school in the county, we have to do the same stuff as them as well. So we're constantly having to see what they're doing. We have to have the same tests as them, same quizzes, and it's just kind of a lot of the sameness. And one thing I like about teaching is that we all can be different, but we're not really able to do that with curriculum. I am back from my meeting and my head is spinning a little bit, but before I sit down and get back to it, I wanted to answer another question. Somebody asked, how often do you last minute change the lesson for the day? And even though I am type A, I'm very organized, I still have to make last minute changes. It's always minor things. It's never anything major that's causing me stress or anything like that. I might move things to a different day or something like that. Like this week was a little weird because we had a pep rally yesterday, the last hour of the day, so each class ended up only being about 40 minutes. And originally I had a lot of stuff planned because I didn't know about the pep rally, but once I found out about the pep rally, I ended up having to change the plan because 40-minute classes doesn't really give you much time to do a ton. So just things like that. Things come up as teachers, we deal with things popping up, so you just have to learn to pivot as a teacher and just modify your plan to fit the situation. So that's just one of those things that every teacher will have to do at some point. I also never work from home. I do not bring my computer home. My home time is my chill time. However, there are some times where I'm at home thinking about work and thinking about what can I change for tomorrow. So then that next day I'll come to work and then I'll, get on my computer and make those changes. So it does happen fairly often, but not like every day. Someone also asked, how do you handle it if a student knows more about a topic than you? And guys, I don't know why that's even really a question because of course I'm not gonna freak out. I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna learn. I can learn from students just like they can learn from me, and especially my accelerated class. My last class is my accelerated class, and they will raise their hand if we're reading something about something they know, and they will add more to the conversation. Obviously, like I said, I have a curriculum. There's certain stories that we are reading or certain articles we're reading, and some of the topics are really relevant to the kids, more so than they're relevant to me. And things like technology, social media, robots, AI, stuff like that, that's very relevant to them because that's how they're being raised. And if we're reading about something like that, a lot of times they will raise their hand and contribute to the conversation. And I'm not going to be mad. I just say, okay, like that's great. And I listen because I don't know everything, just like they don't know everything. So that's how I handle it. I just listen and I learn. I feel like it's kind of a weird question because I don't know why there would be any other reaction to that. I'm home, guys. I actually have a family member who goes to my school. It's my husband's little cousin, and I needed to drive her home today, so she came to my room after school, and I don't like to film in front of people. So I'm home now. I'm gonna answer one more question today as I get unready, and then I will answer some more tomorrow. Somebody asked an interesting question that I've never heard before. They said, besides an education, what do kids go to school for? And I thought that was interesting, and honestly, I wasn't sure how to answer it, but when I thought about it, I realized kids go to school for other reasons as well. Some kids come to school just to hang out with their friends, and I wish that they would put that much energy into their work. Some kids come for attention because you never know what people's home life is. Some of them may not get much attention at home. Some of them come for a safe place for the same reason I just said. They may not have a safe place at home. So there's definitely a lot of different reasons. So I really liked that question because even though school is focused on learning and education, as teachers, we do also have to pay attention to our atmosphere, our environment, and make sure it's inviting for everyone because some people do not have nice homes to go home to. So I actually ended up liking that question once I thought about it. Good morning, guys. It's Friday. I have my Fans Idea jersey on from our sponsorship, and I wanted to answer a few more questions today. This one is pretty controversial because I feel like some teachers are on the yes side and some teachers are on the no side. But someone asked, do you feel personally responsible when students fail your class? And guys, I'm on the no side because throughout the year, I give several chances. I'm a very fair teacher. My deadlines are firm. However, I do take work late, even though we're not supposed to technically. Of course, in the ideal world, everyone would turn stuff in on time, but that's not the case. I can say in all my 7 years of teaching, it's never been anyone failing because they just don't understand ELA. It's only people failing because of missing work. So in middle school, we try to teach them responsibility. You need to come to us teachers and let us know, hey, I was absent yesterday. What did I miss? Because we have 90 students or more. So I don't always remember who was absent what day and what assignments they need to make up. A lot of times, unfortunately, they are not doing that. They don't ask. And sometimes things slip through the cracks. Sometimes all the missing work does cause people to fail. I taught 8th grade last year, and of course they need to pass all their classes to go to high school, and there were, I think, 3 or 4 who did not pass my class, so they did have to do summer school. I tried everything I could to get them to pass, but they had too many missings from earlier on in the year that they could not make up for them in quarter 3 and 4. So sometimes it's like that. I know that I'm doing everything I can, so I do not feel personally responsible. I'm on planning now, and the lunch ladies snuck me some fries. Don't tell anyone. I wanted to answer another question that I've actually never thought of. I don't know how I've never thought of this, but somebody asked me, if you were not teaching language arts, what would you teach? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really interested in math, science, or social studies, so I would probably teach a connection class because I love athletics, I like working out, I am a coach. I feel like I would do really well as a PE teacher. Maybe one day I'll transition to do that, I don't know, but I definitely feel like PE would be another subject I would love to teach. I know they do have to lecture and take grades, so that part maybe won't be so fun, but most of the time they are able to, you know, do some games and do fitness stuff with the kids, so I would definitely like to do that. I pretty much just spent my whole planning making copies because it's Friday and you already know I like to be ready for the next week. But I want to answer one more question because I only have 8 minutes until the kids are back. But somebody asked, actually it was one of my old students, of course, they asked, do you miss your old students? And someone also asked, how old are your old students? So I decided to kind of combine those two. So yes, I miss my old students. I miss them every single day. That does not mean I don't enjoy the group I have now, but the students I just taught are my babies. I taught them as 8th graders last year, and then 2 years prior, I taught them as 6th graders. So I had them coming into middle school and exiting middle school, and they are very close to my heart. And I miss them every day, but not a day goes by that I don't talk to at least one of them. They're very active on my Instagram. I do have a teacher Instagram I let them follow me on, and they are now in 9th grade. They're big high schoolers, and their first day of school, I was crying like a baby because I was just so emotional because they really are my babies. But I do have a really good group now. I'm making really good memories, so I don't want this to come across like I'm not enjoying this year, because I'm definitely enjoying this group and we've been having some fun, and I'm very excited for the rest of this school year. I'm home, it's the weekend, and I'm gonna answer one last question. I typically save the juiciest question for the end of the video. A teacher actually reached out and said, I'm also thinking about switching schools. Do you have a defining moment that made you feel that you needed to leave? And yes, I did. Actually, I have several, but the first moment that made me feel like I needed to switch schools was actually before the school year even started. At the last minute, I got moved from 6th grade to 8th grade. Being moved is normal because teachers get moved all the time. I'm not complaining about that. My issue was the reason behind it. If you moved me to better the school, if you moved me because I'm a better fit in 8th grade, that's one thing. But if you move me for personal reasons, just because, then I have a problem with it. I've said this several times. I had a lot of coworkers at my last school that I was close with, that I actually considered friends. Me and my friend group pretty much all worked together in 6th grade. We were all on the same team. We worked together every day, but people wanted to split up, so that's what happened. One of us got moved to 7th grade, one of us got moved to 8th grade, which was me, and we were completely split up. 3 different schedules, 3 different grade levels, and our whole team got split up. I just didn't really like that because I feel like you shouldn't make a decision just due to how you personally feel. It should be always about the school and bettering the school, in my opinion. That was the first time I questioned staying. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. Please make sure you comment down below if you want a part 4. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!